Hey guys, so today we're doing a video on hair gel lady, also known as Ashley Elliot, just in case. She's the hair gel lady. If you guys have not seen her on TikTok, I don't know where you've been. She's been all over my For You page. She's basically the girl with the super slick bun, and she uses a bunch of hair gel and she just lays that down. And she came out with her own hair gel, just kind of like green, and she takes a lot of it and slaps on her head, and it's, I guess, just kind of like content similar to, sorry, I was not picking my nose really itches. Content very similar to Meredith Duxbury with the slapping foundation on your face. It's meant to make you want to watch the video, get a bit outraged, comment something. Anyway, so she releases her own hair gel and it was super successful. There was a little bit of drama where someone essentially filmed it saying that it didn't work for them, and turns out it was like a purposeful negative review because they were working with a different gel company, allegedly. So there's a lot of those TikToks. I'll try and find them for you guys and play them for you guys. There was back and forth, you know, she made a TikTok saying, you know, my hair gel isn't going to work for everyone, but please just like use it correctly. And then they were called out by other content creators who were using their hair gel on similar hair types and being like, it does work, so clearly you work with this other hair gel company and that's why you're doing this. There was a lot of tea and drama, but people were just in general, like, she got a lot of support for a bunch of different things. I think she's genuinely quite liked. She got support during this situation. She's got support for her hair gel. It sells out all the time. Anyway, she started including her husband more and more in her content, and people loved their antics. Like, she would sometimes like throw the hair gel at him, and like you could tell that they were being quite playful with each other, and he obviously was quite supportive of everything. But apparently it was getting a little bit difficult for them because people would start to approach them out in public, and I guess he maybe just wasn't super into the like famous lifestyle. And yeah, so she has since deleted a bunch of TikToks with him in them. Well, by that I mean all of them, and she isn't wearing her ring, right? So she posts a video addressing it. She doesn't really say anything. She kind of says everything and nothing at the same time, and right at the end she slips in that she will not be wearing her ring right now for reasons kind of unannounced, and people went running with it. Now, since then, a girl that is actually a sex worker came out and exposed that her husband was messaging her, the sex worker. So that would insinuate her husband's kind of like emotionally cheating on her. Now, there is an article by SK Pop, Gel Lady's husband drama explained as marriage takes social media by a storm. And this was actually last modified about 2 days ago. So she has 14 million followers since 2019. That is absolutely wild to me. So apparently the questions about her marriage started popping up after she posted quite a vague video on August 24th. In the short clip, Elliot spoke about a hypothetical situation where a hard-working husband who previously vowed to take care of his family so the other half did not have to worry about making money. Then she expressed her concerns about the said husband leaving his family for someone younger and more beautiful down the line, in a way abandoning the other half without proper means to make it on their own. Though Ashley Elliot did not specify in the video that the scenario was connected with her situation, followers speculated otherwise.
So I have been working since I was 16 years old, and let me tell you the reason why I will never stop. Let me tell you what one of my biggest fears is. Just imagine this. Imagine it, okay? You find a man, he's amazing, he's making great money, and he wants to take care of you for the rest of your life. And you decide, cool, I just get to be home, raise the kids, he's gonna be the hardworking man he is, and he's gonna take care of us. Now imagine 20 years later, he finds somebody else that's younger, more beautiful, and he leaves you. And you don't have a job, you don't have any ways to financially support yourself, you no longer have your youth, and now you're alone. That would be one of my biggest fears. And I know some of y'all are married to some great men, okay? But I wouldn't put nothing past nobody. Somebody might tell you today, hey, I love you, I would never, ever do that to you. But in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, people change. And that's the reason I will never stop working for my own money.
So apart from that hypothetical scenario, her followers also noticed some things that further concretized their speculations. They noticed that all the content where the influencer's husband was featured had been removed from her TikTok feed, and she also stopped wearing her wedding ring. People began to draw conclusions that Elliot might have actually talked about her current situation with her husband in that hypothetical scenario. Now, she did address these presumptions and said, "This has nothing to do with me. I literally brought up a scenario saying if you were married to a man for 20 years, you've never had a job, you've never had any skill sets because you thought he would take care of you for the rest of your life, and imagine if he left you for somebody else." It was a scenario. So I guess she was just putting out an idea out there. She explained that she wants her daughter to be financially independent and never rely on a man because people might change in the future and they might leave their partners. Elliot added how the idea of being abandoned scared her, which is why she never wanted to stop working.
You guys, this is not my situation right now. I was just telling you the reason I will always work and why I would teach my daughter not to depend on a man financially. This has nothing to do with me. I literally brought up a scenario saying if you were married to a man for 20 years, you've never had a job, you've never had any skill sets because you thought he would take care of you for the rest of your life. And imagine if he left you for somebody else. It was a scenario. It's a scenario that has scared me since I was a girl. So I've been working since I was 16 years old. I worked at Burger King. I joined the army. I started a business. I make money on social media. Like, I am very, very, very financially stable. And so this would just never be a scenario that would fit me. And that was intentional for me. So that's all the video was about, is I was just like, imagine if this was to happen and how horrible that would be if you've never had a job because you depended on a man. And I was trying to say, people change. No matter how great you think somebody is, people change. So no, this has nothing to do with me and my husband.
The influencer further explained that while she has always loved being on social media making content, her husband didn't. Elliot clarified that she did not force her husband to appear in those videos and that he willingly made those couples content since they were bringing in good profit and support from the followers. However, her husband did not want to be recognized whenever he went out in public, so Elliot respected his wishes for not wanting to share the spotlight. Regarding the absence of her wedding ring, Elliot said that she knows her followers have noticed the disappearance of the ring, but it was something she preferred to keep private.
All the videos of my husband have been removed from all of my platforms. And I understand that this raised a lot of concerns, especially because a lot of you guys follow us for our couples content. But I did start this channel by myself in 2020. I've always loved being on social media, and he did not. Over time, I talked him into being on my social media, and we saw how well the videos did of us together. So we just continued, but it was something that I was most definitely much more passionate about. But he no longer wants this lifestyle. He doesn't want to be recognized every single time he goes out in public. Quote unquote fame is not what everybody wants. We no longer have any kind of privacy, but that just comes with the territory of being a social media influencer, and I'm okay with that. He is not. I hope you guys can understand. I know it's going to be hard because a lot of you follow us for our couples content. But I will continue to make content just like I did when I first started. And as far as the ring, you guys have noticed it's been off my finger for a couple weeks now, and that's just something that I want to keep private right now.
However, even after Ashley Elliot did not disclose anything private, another woman who goes by the name Monique fueled the topic on August 29th. So Monique posted a video on TikTok where she was holding a newborn baby and a man was lying next to them on the bed, facing away from the camera. She then referred to him as the father of the child.
Say hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
Some of Ashley's followers mistook the man in Monique's video as Elliot's husband and got concerned that this was probably what the gel lady was hinting at in the original video. Now, the Monique, who is a sex worker, came forward and spoke about the situation. She vaguely claimed that Elliot's husband was one of her clients, but they never met in person and only communicated virtually. Monique had an accusatory tone against Elliot in her video and said that the gel lady was making a big deal out of the situation. I mean, it is a big deal if your husband is contacting sex workers, even if he's not meeting up with them, because in a lot of monogamous relationships, that is considered cheating. She went on to say that Elliot's husband reached out to her and that she felt that the husband wanted to be heard and understood, implying that Ashley Elliot was not giving him the required space in their relationship.
I don't have a lot of time to say what I want to say because I am currently evacuating for a hurricane, but I do want to kind of touch on it. First, I want to say that I am not blasting this girl's business. She is quite literally blasting herself. And I'm not coming for her for crying on the internet because honestly, who hasn't? Because I sure as hell have. Being a mom is quite hard sometimes, but it's also the biggest blessing of your life. And I'm not about to see this girl do it all alone over something that she thinks is bigger than what it is. That's my opinion. I don't know what else is going on in their home. I don't know what side of the story he gave her, what he has said or not. And if she doesn't want to reach out, that's fine. I'm not the kind of woman that says don't come at me as a woman. If you have a question, feel free to ask and I will decide if I want to answer or not. Now, while the first time she came at me was not crazy and I did respect it, I did get a little when I started seeing things like I'm gonna raise my daughter to be da 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 when all I have is daughters. And I posted that video because when she gave that scenario of a man taking care of his family and then leaving, it was very relatable for me. My man didn't leave me, but he does take care of his family. Hey, mama. First of all, I want to make it very clear we did not meet up in person. Second of all, even though there was communication, I think there was a reason. I don't feel like this man is heard, and now I feel like he's being slightly bashed on the internet. And she might not be wrong for this. She might have a whole different image of what's going on. I'm not saying what he did is right. Everybody has different morals, but in my eyes, I saw it as something else that she probably doesn't see it as. What I saw was a man who was not heard, and he wanted to be heard and understood. He did mention multiple times that he did try to communicate these things, but obviously they weren't heard if I see that it's still going on. He didn't have to say that. There was also many comments that would say the things that he was feeling because it was just very obvious. And while it did make the content good for y'all, if it feels emotionally or mentally exhausting for somebody, I would try to hear that out because that might lead to other things that you don't want. After hearing this video, would it be worth twirling your whole family if he never did what you felt like in that scenario, leaving or cheating on you? My opinion, if he was lacking in other areas of the home and didn't want to make content, okay, then what the hell? But if he is there for the children, if he is there for you, then if this is something you find enjoyable, and even if it's not enjoyable for you, but if it's something you're good at, I understand he's your partner. But notice how my house is getting trashed right behind me in less than 3 minutes. I do wish their family well. It's hurricane season. I want her to know her man loves her. He made that very known.
So he was clearly seeking out emotional support from someone who isn't his wife, which is a big no-no. Monique also downplayed the alleged infidelity of Elliot's husband and tried to justify his actions, which led her to garner immense backlash and criticism from netizens. They said how it was unethical and appalling of Monique to publicize Ashley, Elliot, and her husband's marriage and private life. Several people pointed out that Elliot herself never shared any details about the problems she was having with her marriage, much less even bashing her husband online.
I had every intention of keeping the details of my marriage private. Yes, I did hint to you guys that I wasn't okay and my marriage wasn't okay. Did I share any details? No. And the reason I even let you guys in just a little bit was to show that I'm real with real problems. The last thing I want to be is a content creator who only shows all the perfect moments, because that's not real. And I wanted people to know if they're going through something, they're not alone. Now, with all that being said, there are a few things I would like to address. And then after that, you guys, I need to protect my peace and log off. Number one, you guys will never catch me bashing my family on the internet. And whether my husband is my husband or my ex-husband, he is my family. Number two, I have never in my life bullied or targeted somebody on social media. I did not make one post about this person. And majority of these posts that I made were before I even knew she existed. I had no idea that she had a BBL. I thought she looked natural. Good job. Your BBL looks very natural. Did I put on a black wig because of this person? No. Did I make posts about my daughter because of this person? No. Before I even knew she existed, I made a post on my Facebook that said, be the woman you'd want your daughter to be. And that was before I even knew she existed. I said that because I was going through something internally, and I thought to myself, how would I want my daughter to handle this as a woman? And that brings me comfort because it helps me make a decision based off of how I would want my daughter to feel and how I'd want her to be treated. Now, when I found out about this person, I blocked her on social media. So the fact that she has been able to still screenshot all my stuff is very concerning to me. And the reason I blocked her was to protect my peace. I did not want to see anything she had going on. I didn't know if she had daughters, sons. I didn't know anything about her. And the last thing I want to address is this narrative that I forced my husband to make videos. I know that we've always had that role where he was annoyed and I was the one who enjoyed the videos. And that was agreed upon. Social media is bringing us in $20,000 a month. And that's aside from the business. And I've never put the numbers out there like that, but I need you guys to know that this provides for our family. This has made us debt free. This has made us financially free. I have never forced anybody to be in a video with me. And he even offered to continue making videos with me even if we're no longer together. And I respectfully declined. So am I this evil person that forced her husband into doing something he didn't want to do? No. This is quite literally a job. Just like any other job that might get in the way of a relationship. You guys are telling me that I've let an app ruin my marriage. I wanted to keep this information private. I wanted to work this out in my marriage. But somebody wanted their 15 minutes of fame and they got it. I reached out to her and I apologized for the backlash she was getting from my followers. And I told her personally that none of my posts had anything to do with her. And then she continued to say that I was targeting her and bullying her. And I know y'all don't know me personally, but anybody that knows me in real life knows that's just not me. That has never been me. I have never bullied anybody a day in my life. I know I sound irritated, and it's because I am. But at the same time, I understand that I have put so much of my life out there on social media, and a moment like this was bound to happen. And I'm gonna take it on the chin. But one thing I just cannot tolerate is people speaking bad about my family. And my husband is my family. Whether we work this out or not, he is my family. And last thing, you guys are so ride or die. I have received so much love, so much support from you guys. And I appreciate all the messages, all the comments that I've seen. I've tried to stay off TikTok the last couple days because it's overwhelming. It's too much. I still have 2 children to take care of. I still have a job to do. And I know this has all been just entertainment for everybody, but this is my life. And I didn't want to even address this or entertain this. But I reflected on it, I thought about it, and because I have so many people that are there for me and that are concerned about my well-being right now, I will make a video to address it. And the last way I want you guys to show your support is by bullying this person or threatening this person. I don't want that. I don't want that. I have nothing against her. I'm irritated that I'm being lied on. I have nothing against her. None of this is her fault. What's going on in my life and in my marriage is not her fault. This is something me and my husband need to figure out. And I wanted so badly to keep so much of this information private, but I wasn't given that opportunity. But that's the life I chose, I guess. I love you guys, and for now, I need to log off.
Actually, Elliot ultimately admitted to the speculations about her husband cheating on her in a video posted on August 31st. She said that she had no idea about Monique, but implied that she only got a hint of her husband's infidelity. Although Elliot agreed that how Monique exposed details about her private was wrong, she asked her followers not to leave hate comments for anyone. Elliot also shared that she blocked Monique on all social media platforms for her own peace, and that she would log off from the internet to prioritize her mental health. I think this is absolutely bazooka-zonk. What was even that word? This is absolutely bizarre and unhinged. This is what happens when, I guess, one person becomes more social media famous and there's like a level of success, and maybe the other person feels a little bit insecure, or, you know, wants to get involved at first and then notices like, oh, I'm actually not okay with this, and starts to, you know, these start to grow apart, go separate ways, and then you end up in a situation like this. But hopefully most people can communicate through that instead of reaching out to sex workers for emotional support, instead of going to their partner who they agree to have a monogamous relationship with. And then for that lady, I mean, it's also like professionally incorrect to expose one of your clients, but to then publicize that instead of just going straight to Ashley just reeks of wanting attention and validation from people on the internet. And instead she got backlash for obvious reasons. I just think the whole thing is absolutely sucky. I would just hate to be in the situation where like you clearly publicize a certain like part of your relationship, and that seems to only be like a minute part, and the rest of the parts are quite bad. But it also shines a light on the fact that you should never compare yourself to the people on the internet, because when they show their relationships and everything's dandy and amazing and they're like playful and quirky and everyone's just having fun, a lot of that is just like, you know, a one TikTok out of a whole week that they live together, and you don't really know what's happening behind the scenes, but we know that. So let me know what you guys think about any of this. Subscribe, hit the bell, like, comment for engagement, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.